Hi, everyone. Hi, Diane. Well, I just poured myself a little bit of root beer. Rosie's here. Hi, Rosie. Yes. It's been cloudy all day here. I only had 2 pictures of the house to use, a winter and a summer. So this weather we're having is not, it's still winter out there, even though the snow went away. Karen. Hi, Karen. Yeah, I think Bumblebee may join us today. It's cloudy there too. Yeah, it's kind of been a dreary day. I actually did a little ship with me video this morning, and when I got done doing it, when I went to look at it, it hadn't recorded. So, and I can't redo it because the items already all packaged up and sealed. So I'll just have to tell you about what it was. So this week, here it is Thursday, I've had 3 sales, all Poshmark sales. Yes, I've had a terrible backache all day. I need to just go and lay flat on the floor. And I haven't done that. So tomorrow, I'm taking my cat to the vet to see what in the earth is wrong with her. She's not getting any better. She just, I don't know what it is. It's not good, I'm sure. Something either in her hip or her back. Something about her right back leg. I don't know. But she goes up and down the steps still, not easily. And the funny thing about it is, since she's hurt herself, she wants to be by me. I don't know where she is at the moment, but she drags herself upstairs when she hears me, or sometimes she's been sleeping in the other room all night. And she gets up when I get up. But she's never done that before. So that's, that may mean she's in pain. She's still using her litter box. Thank goodness. And that's in the basement. So we'll see what the doctor says. I'm sure there'll be x-rays involved in this. Well, my surprise expense in January was I had to get the invisible fence fixed. So that was $350 some dollars. So I'll bet this is, hope it's under that, but with x-rays and everything involved with an exam from the vet, my vet is not cheap. So I don't know. I think I'm just going, as long as she's up there, I'm going to have them draw her regular blood test for her sugar. I'm not sure if it's quite due yet, but as long as we're there. Yeah. The reason I put the house on the opening screen was because I thought I would talk about living in a house that's 170 years old. What it's like living in an old century farmhouse. Now, the oldest part of the house is just, if you can look on the picture, it's the big square part, the high, that has 2 floors. And the other part going out to the side, that's where the kitchen and the dining room is. That was added on in the early 1900s. And then behind that, you can't see it, is the family room. That room that's all windows. Did you discover I was missing? It's the dog. That's the family room, and that was built on in the 60s, so that's actually a new room. But this is the oldest part of the house here. One thing about living in a house that's so old with the walls so thick and a stone, a rock, a basement that's made of boulders. It's been standing all those years. I think it's very safe in storms. Yeah. In fact, if there's a storm going on with a lot of noise and thunder and lightning and wind, if you come into the old part of the house, it's so much quieter. And if you go into the basement, it's super quiet. So a lot of times, if the dog is really upset about a storm, I'll take her down to the basement, and she can't hear it near as well. I can remember one time, there's only a very few times that I have gone to the basement with a tornado warning, and a couple of the times was when I was babysitting my grandkids. They were just little, and the storm was getting worse, and it sirens went off. So I took them to the basement, and I set up they had a little miniature card table and chairs down there. And I took some snacks down, and I don't think they even noticed the storm was going on. We just had a fun time in the basement. I mean, that never lasts very long as far as tornadoes, but we were down there probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, half hour. I have a picture of us down there. I just sent that to, I'm finding some old pictures of when I had the kids stay here when they were real little that I didn't think my granddaughter had seen. And I'm pulling them out when I find them every once in a while and sending them to her, that she's never seen these pictures. So I'll have to send that one. I don't think I've sent it yet. So it has a little story that goes with it about the tornado. Hi, Yvonne. Well, I am, I think what started all this is that whole kidnapping or whatever it is of Nancy Guthrie. I haven't even looked today what's going on with that, but I'm looking into security cameras. Does anybody have any information about good, decent security cameras that don't cost an arm and a leg? Because I would like to have the system Simply Safe, but I think it's very expensive. It's the one that Dave Ramsey, his whole company, that's what they talk about all the time. It's supposed to be excellent. And you can have a professional install it. That's another thing. I'd have to have somebody put it in or put it up. So, and I have 3 doors, not just 2. You have a Ring and you like it? Yeah, that was the other one I looked at. It's probably less expensive than the Simply Safe, but I'll have to look at what each one does. And the one thing about the Ring, one thing about the Simply Safe one, you don't have to pay for a subscription that you can't get out of, that goes on for years, and you are hooked up to somebody that's they get notified as soon as you get notified about somebody outside your house, and they can actually talk through this system outside, and you can have lights go off or a siren, or you can have, it's all kinds of things. It's There's an app called Neighbors, which is basically the Ring app, and they in your area post about crime, etc. Oh, you have, okay, Rosie has Simply Safe. It works very well. Yeah, that's the one I've been looking at the most. I'm sure there's all kinds of different, steps you can have. You can have it do so much, or you can have it do more or more or more. And the price probably varies quite a bit. So that's the one thing I've been looking into. Did I don't know if I don't think, I forget what I've told you. I don't think I've told you since I talked to the go-go grandparent. That's that service that will drive you if you don't have a car, because I'm definitely thinking of, I almost have for sure, made the decision of giving up the car come May or June, whenever it's due back. Because I've looked out the window every single day now, and for the last week, the chipmunks are back. That just sends me in a panic. I just don't want to put up with that anymore because they're going to get in my car again. It's too early for me to take it out and put it at the front of the driveway by the road because this isn't the end of winter. We're going to have more snow and everything. So, yeah, it's just such a stress to me about this car or any car I would get. So I'm going to try this Go Grandparent. It sounds pretty good. They just use Uber and Lyft drivers that sign up with them. I think they're vetted pretty well if they're going to work through this senior service. And it's just that you get to talk to a real person when you order. You can put all your information in as far as different locations that you normally go to. So it makes it easier to, to set up the drive. And I don't think it's any less expensive for sure than taking Uber. It may be a little more because it is a subscription that you do. But they let me have the first 1 month, just 1 month for $20. This next month, I'm going to just try it out a couple times and see how I like it. Yeah. So the thing is, when I thought, sometimes you just cringe at the fact that if you're going any distance, say if I took it all the way to where I get my hair cut, that would probably be, I don't know how much it would be, but it's probably $15-$20 one way to get taken there, which sounds, that doesn't sound good. Then my $70 haircut on top of that, and then you have to come back. So a very expensive day. But I wouldn't get my hair cut as much for sure. But to go 7 miles to town, like if I just have to run up to town or run to the vet or run here or there, doctor's office, which is in Medina, I don't know how much it would be, but it wouldn't be that often. I don't go places often. And if you compare it to every month, I pay $339 a month to have a car, and then $90 on top of that a month to have insurance. So I wouldn't be paying that at all. So I don't know. I want to try it. I think if I didn't have something in the wings like that to go someplace that I know I could call, and if I'd only be able to depend on Samantha every other week, like to go grocery shopping, or now I can order. I got used to ordering groceries during the pandemic. This could be Bumblebee. Let me see. No, it isn't. You know who this is? Because I signed up for this month. They're sending me little information every once in a while about it. So that's who that was. It was Go-Go. Yeah, and you factor in the oil changes and repairs. Yeah, if I would get an older car, yeah, I can't see where it could possibly cost more than that. And I'd have a driver. So I say, let's try it and see what happens. If I can stand not to have a car. The other thing is, when I got my new iPhone and my iPad, I almost bought an Apple Watch that day. And then I decided not to. Well, now I'm sort of thinking about it again, about the Apple Watches or some knockoff that has the fall protection. Does anybody have? There must be somebody here who has an Apple Watch or something you wear with the fall detection. I also Googled information about the fire department. If you say I had an Apple Watch on, I had fall detection. I fell and told them you can either push, call somebody, push the SOS button, or you can, if they don't hear from you not to do something, they send it anyway. So, all right, my doors are all locked, of course. What do they do? I really don't know. I think I know, but what does uh the emergency people that come, if the doors are locked, how do they get in? So I'm sure they just have a way to break in. Uh, I don't really want them destroying my house to get to me. Jolene said that I can call the county. I live in the township, which their little department is not far from here. And she says I can take my key, I can let them have a key at the police department in case of emergency, that somebody can get in here. What do you think about that? The only one you're familiar with is Great Call. Is that for drivers you're talking about? Like the Go-Go? I never heard of that one. Great Call. I've only heard of regular Uber or this Go-Go grandparent. There's a lot on it on YouTube about people talking about it. Of course, it's all their ads. I mean, everything is good about it. But they talk about their experiences. And they say a lot of times you'll get the same drivers, because I live in a little township. It's not like I live in a huge city. Yeah, medical alert device like the Apple Watch. Yeah, I probably should have got that when I got my iPad. Yeah, that's quite an expense. They are not cheap for sure. They're like 250 and up. Uh, they tell you they tell you all kinds of medical stuff too, which I'm not really interested in them telling me that and getting me all upset. But I'd like something with a fall detection. Oh, great call is a medical alert device you wear. Is it one of those like a necklace or something? Yeah, there's that one. It's been advertised for years. Yeah, it's a necklace. That's a monthly subscription, and I heard that isn't inexpensive either. That's the one with the lady I've at the bottom of the steps, "Help, help, I've fallen and I can't get up." That's that's similar to that one. Mm. Ask my doctor. My doctor doesn't care. That's another video I'm doing. My idea of the medical system now. I'm just completely disgusted with it, to tell you the truth. The fire department will break down the door if they can't get in. I wouldn't worry about it. The main thing is that they get inside for help. Yeah. See, my thought is, what if they break down the door now that the house is open? Now they take me off to the they take me off to the ER. The house is open. The dog is here by herself. I have all these instructions for my kids. It's on the counter. Uh, things to do numbered. First thing to do, second thing to do. And now my purse has all my medicine, a list of my medications. But somebody said to put a list right on the refrigerator where the firemen can see it. You know, the so I may put this whole thing about who to call. It has my kids' phone numbers and everything on it. It's just it's like 2 pages long for my kids about what to do if I have to go to the hospital or if I've gone off to heaven. So, yeah, so that's what I've been thinking about all week. It's been sort of a down week. And for sure, the news is not picking me up any. And sales, well, it's already better than last month. Last or last week. Last week I made 2 sales. I'm already at 3. All Poshmark. I have no idea what is going on with eBay. Yes, I have a living will. I have all the legal stuff. Yeah, I took care of that a few years. That's all in my lock boxes where my kids know where everything is. My doctor also has a copy. You know, if you're a DNR or not. I'm not. Uh, Now that may change as I get older and older. If I get sick, that can always change. But right now, one thing that sort of scared me happened yet. Actually, I found out about it yesterday. Now think about this. February 17th, just 2 days ago, is my daughter's birthday. February 17th. I completely forgot about it. Yesterday I get an email or a message. My birthday was yesterday, it's the 17th. I couldn't believe that I forgot her birthday, but that isn't even the frightening part. The frightening part is I saw the date on something I was doing. Oh, my in the morning, I start reading the Bible while I'm still upstairs, and I watched I listen to the audio Bible, and it gives the date, and it starts reading where we are to get through in a year, so we're at the end of Numbers. And so I see the date, February 17th, and I can remember thinking to myself, that sounds so familiar, or that looks so familiar, that date. And the frightening part is it didn't come back to me what that date is. So that can't be good. I mean, that is definitely a sign of, well, dementia for sure. Maybe more, maybe Alzheimer's. I That scared me. Jane says no, DNR. Yeah, the more I think about it. Let's just get this world over with. This how I think most days. St. Paul that's writing a lot of the Old New Testament. He's in jail a lot, in prison for preaching the gospel of Jesus. And one of the things he said was, to live is Christ, to die is gain. Because you close your eyes here and you're with the Savior. So if you think of it that way, for sure. It costs the family way too much money for what? Yeah, I know. All these things that you have to think about when you get, it's not depressing enough just to be my age with all the aches and pains and uncertainty day by day. And you have to, really decide all this stuff. I know life support isn't a good choice. I know that firsthand. But when I went to the lawyer and had all this stuff drawn up at the time, it was like 20 years ago. I didn't think that way then. So, yeah, you're right, Jane. Maybe I need a little trip back to the attorney. Uh, let's see. I want to show you. I can't really show you unless I put. I don't think I can show you this, but this third thing I sold, because I think I told you about the other two things in the one of the videos I did. But the thing I sold that I tried to make a video about this morning, I sold an Eileen West nightgown. It's a long flannel nightgown. Now, if you know anything about Eileen West, very expensive retail nightgowns and intimate care. They make different things other than nightgowns, I think. But I can remember always going in, this is a long time ago, going in May when I was out shopping in actual big stores. This is before eBay. I was doing any of that. So I'd always, if I was in May Company or Higbee's, I would always look at the Eileen West nightgowns because they're beautiful and they're so comfy and soft. And I think I bought a couple, in my lifetime. So I found this one. I forget where I found it. I've had it a while. It's in blue and white, a beautiful pattern. Has some crocheted lace up here. And it's a light flannel nightgown with some modal in it, which is as soft as possible cotton. And it's a size extra large. And it sold, they gave me a best offer. I think I had it for $36 or something. And they gave me an offer of $32, which I took. I mean, that's the highest price I've seen in a long time of anything. So I netted $25.60 off of this Eileen West nightgown. And it went out today in the mail. It's important. The hospital has the say without the state form. Yeah, well, I have the form and I have it. My doctor has it also. I also have, on my license, I don't know if they even look at that anymore when you get as old as me. I mean, I have to donate whatever, if I would die. Depends on how you die and what medications they had to give. It's all that. It's usually people that are in accidents, not people that die of sickness, that they're interested in using parts and pieces. But believe me, working in the ER and that, I was always for that. I was always for donating your body. Yeah, but I don't suppose when you get older, as old as I am and older, they're not probably interested in your kidneys or your, the big parts. Uh, I don't know. It's always skin. I mean, I don't know. My eyes aren't good, so they wouldn't be interested in that. I don't know. I'm not going to have to worry about it. And knowing how sensitive my son is, he could never say yes to it anyway if you know, they do talk to the family and show them that I had written that I wanted to donate. But I don't know if that little thing on your license will override your kid's decision. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Yeah. What a nice topic today. This is getting depressing. Ah, but I am going to look into the security camera thing, and I'll let you know on my next video things I find out and what I think about that and how much money it would cost to have this house set up. So remember, I have 3 doors, not 2, and a storm cellar. Actually, the storm cellar, I don't see how they could they could get in the storm cellar doors. They could never break into how the basement is down there and the door down there. They could never get in that way. I don't think that's what burglars are hunting for. I don't know if I talked about this, but one of the YouTubers she lives by herself in a cabin in the woods. She has decided to sort of get away from civilization. Not altogether. She goes shopping and, you know, but she lives way back in the woods in a beautiful cabin. And she has 2 dogs. And after this whole case of Nancy Guthrie, she did a video on what if Nancy would have had a dog? I think that's what it was named. I listened to every bit of that, and she's absolutely right, and it's how I feel too. I have never been without a dog. If something would happen to Penny, I would immediately get another dog. It doesn't even matter for sure. I mean, some dogs would be more of a deterrent than others, but most all dogs would bark. Most. And dogs, you know, it's just another safety thing. So my sister had always had a dog, little dogs. She's always had little dogs. I think she had Pekingese. I think that's what she had. I've never had little dogs. But her dog barked, and her dog died a few years back, and she decided she's never going to get another dog. And I made her listen to this YouTube video. And she called me. She says, I listened to the whole thing and I'm still not getting a dog. She's very stubborn. If you lived alone, Vicky says, if I lived alone, I would have a dog. It would make me feel safer. It definitely makes me feel safer. Yeah. I usually had two. I would have two pointers. When I had labs, I had two labs, big dogs. One time I had a lab, a St. Bernard, and a pointer. But I just like big dogs. I don't like little dogs. One reason I don't like dogs that constantly bark all the time. Yet yippy dogs. A lot of little dogs are yippy dogs. Not all. And yeah. So I always had big dogs. The best kind of dog to get as deterrence, of course, are dogs like shepherds, Rottweilers, pit bulls. A lot of people have such bad thoughts about pit bulls, but I'm telling you, you only hear the bad parts. Pit bulls can be the most loving dogs, but they're very strong. And I think being my age and having a real strong breed, as far as, pulling and that type of thing, it's probably not a good idea. If you have a shepherd, you have to have a very well-trained shepherd because, yeah, but love having a dog. The only time I didn't have a dog was when I was in nurses training in college. And right out of nurses training, my husband brought me a dog. His name was Rippy. Ripcord, his name was. It was a smaller dog. And that was our first dog when I got married. The reason he's named Ripcord because my first husband, I met him when he had just got out of the Army. He was in the 101st Screaming Eagles paratroopers. He even parachuted after he was out of the service as a hobby. That's when I went up in the jump plane. I think I told you about that. One time I went up there. It doesn't have a door on it. The little plane does not have a door on it. But anyway, so yeah, the dog was named Ripcord. He always wanted to take the dog in a jump, and I wouldn't let him. I love root beer floats. Are you kidding me? I often wondered if you had, I'm going to try it sometime. If I had just this much root beer and I poured a little bit of milk in here, little bit of milk, would it taste sort of like a root beer float? You wouldn't have the super amount of sugar as ice cream would have, but I bet it would sort of taste like a root beer float. I'm going to try that. I'll let you know. But yes, I drink root beer floats in the summer. Love them. You know, the one thing I didn't have during the cold spell, I had forgotten all about having hot chocolate. I didn't even have one cup of hot chocolate during that whole cold spell. of the below zero weather. I'll have to make up for that. Because this is a false spring. I think next week sometime, at the end of next week, it's supposed to be 19 and snow. So we can't get used to this nice weather. Heather. Hi, Heather. Yeah, anybody that just came, does anybody have a security system on their house? That's what we were talking about. Or use Uber or a driving service to get around. Anybody know anything about that? Well, Samantha, who usually comes on Wednesdays, she called and asked if she could come Friday, tomorrow, which worked out perfectly because she can help me get the cat in the carrier, because the cat weighs a ton, and then get her into the car, because it'll be, it's very heavy for me to carry the carrier out there and put it up into the car. So she did it for me last time, and she already said yes, for sure she'll do that. So yeah, tomorrow, when she first comes, my appointment at the vet is until 2:00. So when she comes in the morning, we're going to go through some inventory, try to get some boxes, put some of these bins that are half empty together so I can get rid of some more bins. And she's going to take the shoe rack and move another piece of furniture for me. So tomorrow all has to do with mostly this room and that back room. Sort of trying to condense all this down more. It would sure help if I would be selling like crazy, getting rid of more and more inventory, but that's not happening. So I think I have to pick some things to redonate. So as far as more about living in a century home that's 170 years old, it is hard to heat. Not so much the old part. This old part stays pretty warm. Because one thing, the boiler is right under this room. So just that, this room is always warm. And this whole part of the house is warm because the walls are so thick. I don't even know because these are plastered, I don't even know if there's insulation in the old part of the house, but I know there is in the new part because I had the kitchen redone and he tore it out right down to the lath. So that's all insulated, and yeah. So those rooms are, but my family room is all windows and it's on a slab. There's no, that makes it cold. At the time, he was putting the new floor in the family room. Had a new wood floor put in. And at the time I thought, well, why don't we put the electric heating underneath? It keeps the floor warm, but it costs a fortune. So I nixed that. It was already costing me a fortune for a new kitchen, redone, new dining room, and he redid a lot of stuff in the family room. So yeah, that was a big bill. Another thing I'd like done to this house is more and more I'm thinking of getting my bathroom. One of those companies come in and tear out your tub, tear out your bathroom, your tub part, and put a walk-in shower. I no longer take baths. I can't even get down in a bathtub. So, yeah, I take showers, but I have to, step into a tub, an old tub that's not safe. It's not a an old iron tub or anything. It's a regular tub. I think for safety reason, I should have that done. But I think in order for this house to be sellable, now I'm thinking of my kids selling it. A house has to have a bathtub. I mean, you can't have like I have two bathrooms. They both have tubs. I don't think I should tear out both tubs and have walk-in showers. I think I should have one with a tub. Is there any real estate people here? Jane says it's been confusing on sales lately. You know not why or what. Just grateful every sale you get. I know. I don't know what I've done on eBay that I'm like cut off, it seems. Make sure you get a shower seat. Oh, yeah, I get all that. And lots of handbars. Oh, yeah. That's why I think that I should have this done. You passed up a house last year because it didn't have a tub. Yeah, I think it's important. There needs to be one tub. So I'd rather have my walk-in shower upstairs. That's where my bedrooms are, and that's where I, get ready. Wouldn't make much sense for me to have to come downstairs to take a shower and then back upstairs. Yeah. So the tub would be on the first floor and not up where the bedrooms are. I don't know if that would matter. But I shouldn't be thinking that way. I should be thinking about making this house for me to live in it, right? My kids are already going to be upset with me for all this clutter that I have that I can't seem to do much about. It's going to be a nightmare for them. But I don't see anybody offering to come and help me. They all have their own lives and they have, they're working all the time. So that is about what see if I had anything else about the house here. Oh yeah, I'm going to need a new roof pretty soon. It's past its guarantee. I mean, we got this roof when we first moved in. So that was over 20 years ago. So it's over 20 years old. I don't know. There's no leaks. So that's good. I definitely need a couple new doors. But when you're working on a century home, I don't want to do anything to ruin the integrity of the century home. You can't go around and put hollow doors around. There is two hollow doors in this house, and it's when they put this lower bathroom in. See, that was never a bathroom there. When this was the only part of the house, that was part. We think that was maybe where the kitchen was, but we're not sure. But there was no door. There was no door at all there. There was a big opening. So they replaced it with a couple hollow core doors, which don't go in this house. Yeah, there's always like painting around the windows and things. I have vinyl siding, which of course doesn't go with century home either. This century home, this main part of the house was, it has regular shingles on now, but underneath the shingles is slate, okay? On the lower part of the house, underneath those shingles, they tore off wood shakes. Wood shakes. How beautiful they are. I just got an advertisement for the metal roofs that are like last forever. They say they're not as expensive as you think. It's kind of hard to believe. But they have ones that look like either shingles, and they have one that looks like wood shakes. So if I would decide the house needs re-roofed, I would look into that. I would look into metal roofs and compared to regular, shingles again. Yeah, so that, and as you know, it's terribly expensive to heat this house because it's heated with oil. My boiler runs on fuel oil, which is the most expensive way because of the price. The price of oil goes up and down, and so does my bill. So I got put on budget. That's the biggest bill I have, always. When we moved in here, I think our heating bill was like $250 a month budget. It slowly went up to $500 when oil was so expensive. It's back down to $450 a month to heat this house. Summer, I have to pay it summer and winter, so because it's on a budget. Yes, so a little while ago, when my hot water tank was going bad, my financial advisor at the bank, my bank guy, he suggested, since my house is, I have no debt. My house is paid for. So he said, why don't you get a HELOC loan, a home equity loan, and have your house pay for anything big that you have to get. Have your house pay for it. Sounded good to me. So I do have a HELOC loan out there. And whenever I want to use it, it's there. So if I would need a new roof, I'd use that. And it has low percentage of payback, and you can, it's not like a large payment you have to pay back a month. So yeah, I'd use it for something like that. Maybe even to get the bathrooms redone. I could use the HELOC loan. My insurance company, you'd think they'd insist on a new roof. Well, they don't know anything about my roof. That wasn't one of the questions they asked. How old was your roof? Yeah, take care, Jane, not Joan. Yeah, I'm going to have to go too. And my supper is sitting to be made out on the stove. I'm making ground beef, a baked potato, and I've leftover green beans. That's what I'm having for dinner. So I will see you on Sunday. I'd like to see you on a Ship With Me video in the morning sometime, but for sure I'll see you Sunday, and we'll just talk, or we'll go over what I sold. Hopefully it will be more than 3 by then, but who knows. So thank you all for joining me. Vicki lives in Florida, and it's always a big question about the age of the roof. Oh, okay. Maybe because of the wind damage. Yeah. Yeah, those hurricanes down there. Uh, all right. I will see you again later in the week. Bye bye, Rosie. And be good, be blessed. And see you then.